relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. All is well, all is well. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. All is well, all is well, all is well. And every day I affirm and pray that I'm blessed with everything I have. I release my fear, 'cause it's all so clear. I am held, I am loved, I am safe. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I am well, I am well, I am well. Ooh. And now I see what my life can be when I trust in the process and have faith. And now I know when I just let go that I have all I'll ever need. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I am well, I am well, I am well. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. All is well, all is well, all is well. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. All is well, all is well. I am well, I am well. All is well, all is well. I am well. Ooh.
Okay, I'm on now. Number 2, yeah. Test, test, test. That'll work. It's all good. I relax and I release. What's it? I relax, let go. I always want to dance to that song, just so you know. And Chris is a dancer, so I want her to choreograph something for us all to learn. I think it would be fun. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity of New Westminster. It is so lovely to see you all on this first cool day that we've had, really, of fall. And I don't know if any of you have done any driving recently, but take a look at those amazing colors out there, the leaves, and it's brilliant, brilliantly beautiful. So welcome, everyone. Welcome to all of you who are here in person. Welcome to everyone who is joining on Zoom. I'm going to ask our whole group to turn around and wave to the camera right above Lyle's head and say, hello. Hi, everyone. Welcome. It is my pleasure to be the minister here at this amusing and amazing community of love and support and laughter and acceptance. It's a privilege to be the minister here. The Unity movement offers ideas, empowering ideas for you to consider if you are wanting to enhance your already amazing life. If you are looking for ideas for full and abundant living, then we offer ideas here, right here at Unity of New Westminster, for you to consider so that you can decide if that's something that you think might work for you. We honor that there is wisdom in faith traditions all over the planet. We honor that there is wisdom to be found in song, in story, in life experiences, in poetry, in prose, in movies. We draw primarily on the teachings of Jesus, who we consider to be our primary way shower and example. And we honor that there is wisdom to be found in all of these other avenues of life, this entire spectrum of life. And we celebrate the freedom that we believe can happen for people if they are able to recognize that every person has the right to choose their own spiritual path, that all are welcome, all are worthy, all are celebrated, all belong here. Let's begin our service today in a time of reflective prayer. As we gather together on this lovely day, we acknowledge with gratitude that we are seated on the physical, ancestral territory of the Kakite First Nation. And we give thanks for First Nation peoples everywhere, for their custody of this land. We are grateful that we can come together as a community to laugh, to sing, to consider ideas, to love one another and be aware and reminded of our connection one with another. We believe that there is only one presence. There is only one power, only one intelligence. That intelligence which is understood by many names. Some call that intelligence science. Others call it the universe, the force, energy, God, Creator, Mother Earth, by whatever understanding we have for the power that forms us, that power in which we live and move and have our being. We acknowledge that it is one power. And that in that power we are all connected, we are all one. And in that power we express. We express energetically, and so with our energy, we now uplift and send a blessing to every person on this planet, regardless of the names, the differences, the labels that threaten to divide us. We resolve to see beneath the labels to our common humanity and love and bless and intend peace and contentment for every being. And for this power, for the power to intend, for the power that each of us has to uplift, we give thanks. Amen. Barb, would you come up and do the daily word, please?
Let me hold this for you while you read.
No, that's me.
Yeah, that's you. Here, that's
Okay. Today, Sunday, October 23rd, prosperity. With God as my source, I live abundantly. No matter how much I have in the bank, the kind of car I drive, or the house I live in, I know these things are mere manifestations of abundance. The source of all prosperity is God. I look beyond appearances to find a deeper meaning of prosperity. Meaningful work that I enjoy doing is a part of my prosperity, not only because of what I earn, but also because of the satisfaction I feel when I use my skills. My house becomes a home when filled with people I love and care for. My financial resources don't diminish but multiply when I share them generously. As I look beyond the good things in my life to the love, the creative insight, and the limitless flow of divine ideas that brought them into manifestation,
perfect.
I discover true abundance. Riches and honor are with me during wealth and prosperity.
Very nice. Okay. Let me take this from you. So I don't want you to trip on it.
Thank you, Barb. Thank you, Walt. Let's move into a time of quiet meditation as we prepare ourselves to listen to today's message. I invite you to hear these words as if they are your own. Whenever I am feeling frustrated, whenever I am feeling uncertain, whenever I am feeling ungrounded, anxious, I remember to take a breath, just as I do now. And as I breathe in and out, I imagine my body becoming heavier. I become aware of the seat on which I am supported. And I allow my body to fall into that seat. And I remember to breathe. And as I breathe, I imagine my thoughts calming down. And I imagine myself sinking beneath all of that busyness. Sinking to a place in the middle of my chest, into my heart. And then from my heart, I imagine that life-giving blood spreading to every part of my body. And I imagine that along with that blood, that life-giving blood, that it not only brings oxygen to every part of my body, but it brings calm. And as I imagine this, my whole body relaxes. And as it relaxes, I become aware that I have experienced times of anxiety and fear and anger before. And now I know that it will pass. And that recognition alone brings me peace. whenever I feel upset, angry, anxiety, non-groundedness, I remember to breathe. And just sit in that peace, in silence. I recognize that I can always come to this place of peace in me. And it allows me to rest. And our song is not playing today, for whatever reason. The song that I had planned for here, there it is.
I ain't gonna carry that load no more. I ain't gonna carry that load. I'm gonna take that pain and lay it down, 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 down. I ain't gonna carry that load no more. I ain't gonna carry that load. I'm gonna let go. I'm gonna let go. I ain't gonna carry that load no more. I ain't gonna carry that load. I'm gonna take that pain and lay it down, 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 down. I ain't gonna carry that load no more. I ain't gonna carry that load. I'm gonna let go. I'm gonna let go. I ain't gonna, no, I ain't gonna, no, I ain't gonna carry that load no more. I ain't gonna, no, I ain't gonna, no, I ain't gonna carry that load no more. I ain't gonna, no, I ain't gonna, no, I ain't gonna carry that load. I ain't gonna carry that load no more. I ain't gonna carry that load. I'm gonna take that pain and lay it down, 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 down. I ain't gonna carry that load no more. I ain't gonna carry that load. I'm gonna let go. Gonna let go. I'm gonna let go. I ain't gonna carry that load no more. I ain't gonna carry that load. I'm gonna take that pain and lay it down, 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 down. I ain't gonna carry that load no more. I ain't gonna carry that load. I'm gonna let go. I'm gonna let go. I'm gonna let go. I'm gonna let go. I ain't gonna carry that load no more. I ain't gonna carry that load.
Today is a perfect example of needing to let go. Let go. Let go and surrender to just what is happening, which is everything works fine until it doesn't. In 1930, the co-founder of Unity, Charles Fillmore, wrote a book called The 12 Powers of Man. And we spoke about this a little last week, that, 1930, 12 Powers of Man. Today, almost 100 years later, we would probably say the 12 Powers of Humans, or people, or something that's a little bit more gender neutral and more inclusive. So we'll let that part of the title go and just talk about the message that Charles Fillmore was talking about. He related the idea that we have energy centers in our body to powers that we all have, that each one of us has powers that we are born with, that are related to energy centers in our body. And he drew on some of this teaching from Eastern religions, because he was very interested in the mystical Eastern religions. And then he took it a step further, and he suggested that metaphysically we could look at these 12 powers as being related to the disciples of Jesus, and that when the 12 powers work and apply properly in right relationship to each other, then that would be epitomized really by what Jesus did. That he, Jesus, used 12 disciples to carry his message. And Jesus is the example then of the person who used these disciples, these powers, as in a way that is perfect. And that may seem a little confusing, and if your brain is turning into a pretzel as I'm speaking, then just imagine this. Imagine it this way. Imagine that Jesus was the equivalent of like the CEO, the chief executive officer of a building, of a company. And then there would be departments in that company. And sometimes the advertising department is the part of the company that needs to be worked, that needs to sort of take precedence. And other times it's the sales department, and sometimes it's the HR department. And the CEO is the executive director and is the person who says, okay, it's your turn to shine now. And so imagine the perfection, the perfect outpouring of that idea. Jesus being that CEO, that executive director, and each of the disciples being like department heads. And what Fillmore said is we have these department heads in ourselves, in our own bodies. And our goal is to be an effective director. And so think of it that way. If it's too metaphysical, too high in the sky sort of idea. Then think of it in terms of something just operating smoothly and operating well, and at times that requires that one thing needs to be activated more than another, but that they're all working together for the good of the whole. And I used as the example last week, and I'm going to ask Lidwina to focus her attention on the tapestry here. I used as an example this tapestry which Lyle made for us and which is so beautiful. And how there are different pieces, and some of the pieces are small and some of the pieces are big, and I'm sure at times Lyle thought that they would go in one place and then they ended up going in another place. But in the end, we have a perfect whole. And so our goal is to use these 12 energy centers in our bodies in that way. And because 12 is too many for me to remember, I break them down into pairs of 6. And last week we looked at faith and strength and how they can work together. And so last week we explored the idea that every person has faith already. We have faith in medicine, or we don't have faith in medicine, which is having faith in non-belief of medicine. We have faith in all kinds of different things. And we all have the ability to stand strong. And when we work together, when our faith and our strength works together, then we reach that place where we know when it is time to stand in our values and our beliefs, and when it is time to bend and adjust our values and most definitely our beliefs. And that strength includes flexibility. And so that was what we did last week. Today, we are moving on to look at the next pair of powers that we have. And they are the powers of release and new life. Release is represented by the color russet, brown, the color of dirt, of mud, of rot. New life is represented by the color red, the color of vitality. As you can imagine, the bright red blood, for example, oxygen-rich blood is quite bright. And oxygen-depleted blood is more of that russet, rusty color. And in our body, we imagine release in our abdomen, the system of elimination of the waste in our body. And in our body, also in our abdomen, is where life is located, in our reproductive organs, the source of new life. Well, let's take a look at mainly at release. And the reason I say that is because often all we need to do is release and let go. And that's all it takes for life to bubble up and appear. And so, what we want to do, and what I'm going to focus on a lot today, is the idea of release. Our ability to release is the ability to let go, to relinquish, to give up, to release, to discard, to eliminate, and to liberate. Our ability to release is the ability to liberate. And we see it in many areas of our life, and I'm going to focus just on 2. One is the physical aspects of our life, all of our stuff. And the other is on our emotional ability to release. our feelings and beliefs and so on. And sometimes we have an overdeveloped ability to release. And what that looks like is purging all the time, getting rid of stuff all the time. This doesn't work, I'm out of here. This job isn't good enough, I'm gone. This relationship isn't working, I'm gone. Often it leads to quite a waste of energy and money because you're always throwing things out and getting new things. And part of the danger of, or one of the aspects, I should say, of over-releasing is that sometimes we release not just the part that's negative, but also parts that can be positive for us. And so, in effect, we throw out the baby with the bathwater. And actually, we see a lot of that in people's walking away from Christianity, walking away from organized religion, that in some ways, I believe, we have thrown away too much. There are parts that people have walked away from for very good reason. And I think an unfortunate outcome of that is that you throw away something that has value as well, an aspect of that. And so, overdeveloped purging, the overdeveloped ability to just get rid of stuff, is something to consider, but not nearly as prevalent as an underdeveloped power to release, which is an unwillingness to let go. And in our physical life, just think of the stuff. Think of the physical stuff. Entire books have been devoted, entire careers have been built on helping people to declutter. Whether it's to help to ensure that everything we surround ourselves with will spark joy, like Marie Kondo, or whether it's The More of Less by Joshua Becker, or Goodbye Things, Fumio Sasaki, it is clear that many of us, many of me, have a hard time letting go of physical things. And I have about 20 things that I wear regularly. There are some things that I wear occasionally, and there's a whole bunch that I never wear, and a whole bunch that I can't fit into anymore, but that's a whole different talk. The thing is that all the stuff that I actually wear regularly, at the moment, is sitting on top of my dresser because I can't fit it into the drawers because the drawers are filled with stuff that I never wear. And I see some of you laughing, and I'm hoping that some of you are laughing because you see yourself in what I'm saying. Oh yeah, yeah. It's like, why do we even need these dressers except that they're holders for the stuff we put on top? Ay, ay, ay. The thing is, there's nothing wrong with having stuff. But what we don't want is for the stuff to have us. And what is true is that when we walk into a place that doesn't have stuff, where it's in its place and preferably out of sight, there's just the sense of relaxing, of, this is lovely. And that's the incentive for us in it when it comes to addressing what to do with all of our stuff. George Carlin, the late George Carlin, who was quite a comedian, yeah, I enjoyed him too. And one of the things he said is, a house is just a place to keep your stuff while you go out and get more stuff. I thought it was pretty funny. He has a whole spiel on stuff, which we won't go to today, but the whole idea of accumulation of stuff and then not wanting to get rid of it is part of this power that we have, and that I think we might consider using differently for our benefit rather than for our looking at all this stuff and feeling cluttered in the process. Emotionally, so that's physical. Emotionally, we sometimes have this undeveloped or underdeveloped power to release when we have a difficult time, when a relationship is over, or even when we have a difficult time recognizing that a relationship is over, or that we have a difficult time ending the relationship, or walking out of the job, or changing a situation, even when it is obviously destructive or abusive or no fun, adding more stress than joy. And we have a difficult time leaving those things, then that is an underdeveloped part, an opportunity for us to look at our power to release and let go and walk away. Sometimes we have a difficult time letting go of experiences that were in the past and that we hold onto so that they are no longer experiences in the past. They are being relived in our minds, living rent-free in our psyche for years after. And I'm reminded of a quote that is attributed to Lily Tomlin, which is, "Forgiveness is giving up hope for a different past." And so often we just wish we could have done something differently, if only. If I'd known better, I would have. Well, all of those comments are an inability or unwillingness to let go. And so why is it important for us to consider this idea of letting go? Well, it wastes so much of our energy, doesn't it? We end up not having energy left to live when we're focusing on all of this stuff, whether it's physical or emotional. It wastes money. It clutters up not just our physical space, but our mental space as well. And when that happens, we are less available to what's in front of us now, including the people we care about, including the relationships we care about, including the hobbies we care about. It keeps us stuck when we refuse to let go. Some people die at the age of 21, but they're not buried until they're 91. I don't know where I read that. I didn't write down where I saw that, but it hit me. That our goal is to live today, not be stuck in mire of the past. And what comes through for me very clearly in this is that freedom lies in simplicity. So how do we find that Goldilocks zone of not too much and not throwing everything away, but at the same time knowing when to walk away? Where is that Goldilocks zone again? I found this quote by A. Milne in Winnie the Pooh. I always get to where I'm going by walking away from where I have been. I love Winnie the Pooh. We should do a whole series on Winnie the Pooh. Certainly a Sunday we could do. I always get to where I'm going by walking away from where I've been. That's just profound. It's simple, it seems so obvious, but oh my goodness, how many of us actually don't walk away from where we've been? In his book, Necessary Endings, Henry Cloud talks about pruning of roses. And he admits he's not a gardener, but he's clearly done some research on gardening. And he talks about the idea of letting go in terms of pruning. And he talks about award-winning rose blossoms. And how do they happen? 3 types of pruning that happen. And I'm going to offer them to you in reverse order because the way he explains it, I think he puts the most difficult one first, and I'm going to put it at the end. The first one that I'm going to suggest to you is the dead wood that takes up space. So you get rid of those things first on the rose bush. The things that are clearly dead, they ain't going to carry that load no more. They aren't doing any good at all. Those are easy, right? And for the most part, we can see those. The next he talks about are the buds that are sick and not getting better. So you tend them a little, and then you realize that no matter how much effort you're putting into this relationship, bud, job, whatever it might be, project, no matter how much you're making the effort, it works a little bit for a little bit longer, and then it doesn't get better. I see myself in this a lot. I used to be a manager at a store, and one of the things I used to do often is know that somebody should not be with our company anymore and resist terminating their employment. And for a little while, they would be better, and then it would drop down. And a little while, it would be better, and then it would revert back. This is the pruning that he's talking about. He calls it sick and not getting well, but you get the idea. It's like requiring effort to be nurtured. And then the third one, and honestly, I put the book down after I read this. So there's something there for me. And that is when it's good, but it's not the best. When there are so many good buds that the one that is beautiful and waiting to have space to grow and become even more spectacular is crowded energetically by all the others which are okay and doing okay, and they're lovely. And I find that that one is the hardest, partly because it explains my life. I do lots of great things and I have fun with all of them, and I don't want to let any of them go. And a necessary ending in order to make something amazing happen means that something may just have to go, and it can't be your sleep, and it can't be your health, and it can't be eating healthily. That part stays. It can't. We have to pick the right things. It can't be your relationships that matter. And so that one was the hardest for me. The biggest thing is to let go of our reluctance to let go. We hold on for dear life to all the stuff that we carry. Just earlier today, Lyle was sharing how he finds it quite easy to give things away. And that actually has such a liberation and a feeling of liberation for him. The thing is that we are hardwired to keep our stuff. We are, as humans, wired for survival, and that means that anything that clothes us or shelters us is things we want to protect. And so we always focus on those things that ensure our survival. We just don't realize that we don't need, in my case, like 6 closets worth or drawers worth of stuff. We need 12 or 1. The more stuff we have, though, the more likely we were to survive. And that is still part of our DNA. So how do we go about making sense of all of what I've just told you? Well, for stuff, I'm going to refer to Winnie the Pooh again, to Piglet. Where Piglet is going to go to the North Pole, and he's not, I can't remember the context, but it's something where he plays a game with himself. This year, next time, sometime. And next year, say it wrong. This year, next year, sometime, or never. He blows on a dandelion and he watches the seeds blow away. I'm going to separate my stuff like that. I'm going to try this method and see if it helps me to get a sense of what it is and why I want to hang on to it all. So I'm going to separate my stuff into the stuff I know I'm going to wear, and then the stuff that I might wear next year, and then the stuff that I might wear sometime in the future. And I'm going to guess that there's not going to be much in the never, because I probably got rid of most of those. But there's probably most of them will be in the sometime and next year category. And then I think what I'm going to try doing, and oh my gosh, this feels so hard even to say it to you, is I'm going to put those into a bag or a box and put them out of sight and see how much I miss them. And if I were really smart, I would give them away. And you can see how hard that is for me to even say. So, take that for what it's worth for you, and consider maybe this strategy this year, next year, sometime, or never. For your feelings. For your feelings, you might consider also this idea of what am I willing to release? And is there something I'm holding on to? And when will I be ready to let it go? In his book, Letting Go, Dr. David Hawkins suggests that we've become afraid of our feelings. And that part of our strategy then is to repress them and depress them and suppress them. And they are energy waiting for a place to go. And so then we use our experiences outside to release those feelings, and we displace them by being upset at other people, by blaming other people, by shaming other people, by being self-righteous. And what he suggests is a healthier way is 3 main steps. And to do them without any judgment. No fear about your feelings, no guilt about your feelings. no resistance at all to the fact that you're even having feelings. The first is to allow the feeling to come up. And then, as much as you can, to stay with it. Not to divert. Not to get up and turn on the television or walk out of the room or change some channel somewhere mentally or physically, but to stay with the hurt or the anger. And he promises that it can't last for very long before it shifts. It dissipates. And when it does, you'll realize that it was just a feeling. There was nothing to be afraid of. It's just a feeling. And when it goes, another more relaxed feeling will take its place, because the energy is used in pushing the feeling down. He also suggests that you don't try and think about it at all, because thoughts are too busy. So, allow the feeling without resistance, without judgment, without condemning it, without moralizing it, without trying to make it different, without naming it. Just feel it. And then it will go away. Try staying intensely angry for a long time. And you'll see you aren't able to maintain it. It will shift. And that's what his point is. And once we start to do this, both for things and for emotions, we will find ourselves in a place where life just happens. We make room for the new. We find ourselves with renewed vitality and vigor and energy, with new excitement. And that is how we breathe life into our life. Our goal is to live in a field where we are living. Jesus said, I've come that they may have life and have it abundantly. That means getting rid of the stuff that we're holding on to that no longer serves us. For the physical things, does it spark joy for you? Is it something that's cluttering up your life? What's the chance that you're going to use this year, next year, sometime, or never? And then release the emotional things that no longer serve you. Does holding onto the emotion, the anger, the irritation, the resentment add anything to your life? Or are you willing to do as Winnie the Pooh said and get to where you're going by walking away from where you've been? Allow your feelings without trying to push them down, without trying to judge them. Letting go leads to new life. You have the power within you to shift from being held hostage by your thoughts and feelings and things, those things that may live rent-free in your physical and emotional life. Move from that to being free, to liberate yourself from self-judgment, free to move in your own physical space, free to move in your own emotional space, free to explore and grow and develop the things that add and share love and joy in the world. Release. Let go. Life will come back up for you. I bless you.
I do what gives me life. I do what gives me life. I do what gives me life. Hey, hey, I do what gives me life. I do what gives me life. I do what gives me life. Hey, hey, in these moments I am given, in situations called me, I now choose this path of living. I now choose what sets me free. I do what gives me life. I do what gives me life. I do what gives me life. Hey, I do what gives me life. I do what gives me life. I do what gives me life. Hey, in these moments I am given. These moments I am given. In situations called me, I now choose this path of living. I now choose what sets me free. I do what gives me life. I do what gives me life. I do what gives me life. Hey, hey, I do what gives me life. I do what gives me life. I do what gives me life. Hey, in situations called me, I now choose this path of living. I now choose what sets me free. I do what gives me life. I do what gives me life. I do what gives me life. Hey, I do what gives me life. I do what gives me life. I do what gives me life. Hey, these moments I'm given, in situations called me, I now choose this path of living. I now choose what sets me free. I do what gives me life. I do what gives me life. I do what gives me life. Hey, I do what gives me life. I do what gives me life. I do what gives me life.
All are welcome to join our prayer service.
Thank you. Now you're wired.
All are welcome to join our prayer service on Mondays from 10:30 to 11:15 a.m. on Zoom. Check the website or the email newsletter for the Zoom link. Please mark your calendars for Saturday, November the 12th at 2 p.m. when we will hold a celebration of life for our friend Bill Detwiller, our beloved Penny's husband. We would appreciate if you could share this information to ensure that everyone who is interested in attending the service can plan to be here. The service will also be live streamed on YouTube, so those who aren't able to attend in person can watch the service. The YouTube information will be posted to our website closer to the date. We are grateful for Bill's life, and we extend our love and condolences to our beautiful Penny.
Yay.
We are forming a new phone tree. One of our goals is to maintain and improve our connection with the people of Unity New Westminster community. We are hoping that each person will be part of a phone call list. We are also looking for people who are willing to be branch leads, who are willing to make phone calls to the people on their list. Making phone calls to about 10 people once a month. If you're interested in being a phone tree lead, please see Reverend Rona No. And if you aren't sure if we have your phone number, please fill out the contact sheet in your welcome envelopes, or write it on a piece of paper and put it into the offering basket, or send us an email with the information so we can stay connected with you. Thank you. The Unity Canada Conference was held in Nanaimo on Thanksgiving weekend, and Gisela Radmacher attended in person on behalf of Unity of New Westminster. At this time, Gisela will share some thoughts about the conference. Gisela.
Yeah, we stay here and we'll just give her.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Some of you probably know that I've been in Nanaimo to the Unity Canada Conference 2022. And I just want to make it brief because we're running a bit late. So I was very happy. It was held in Nanaimo, outside Nanaimo. It was in a place called Bethlehem. For me, it was a retreat. It lasted 3 days. And we had wonderful people there, over 50 people, getting together, having fun, having silence, having workshops, and getting together in the morning, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And there was a wonderful balance and a harmonious kind of being those 3 days. They were just so uplifting, so life-affirming, raising energies, raising our consciousness, and so joyful. We had workshops that we could choose from, and I choose a few. I won't mention them now. But the theme was Know Thyself. And of course, it fits so perfect with what Rona was talking about. Very interesting, and also, of course, there's always more I can learn about myself, and we all were so eager, I have to say. We had probably about 6 workshops. We had also an opening ceremony and a closing ceremony with a Coast Salish speaker, Tatquatum. He held us spellbound for about an hour in the closing ceremony. He taught us some songs that we were allowed to sing, and he gave those songs to us that we could share. So we're all in this circle, and I'm getting goosebumps right now because it was so, so beautiful. He had his daughter who was in regalia, and she also sang a song which is so pure. Her voice was so beautiful. I mean, we were just thrilled and so blessed about being there. Also, so the workshops, I don't know if any of you know the Enneagram, so I took a couple of sessions of the Enneagram, finding out who I am or what I am, which is so interesting because when you work with people at work or, say, on a board situation, it was so interesting to see how many people were extroverts, how many introverts, and you get sort of assigned a number. And so are you thinking, or are you a feeler, are you intuitive? And so when you are working with people together, it was very interesting to find out how one can work together with such opposites sometimes, you know, it's kind of interesting. I don't know if there's anything else. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner was fabulous. And we had a labyrinth there, so we could go off. We also had a keynote speaker. She talked about how to release trauma, and sort of very interesting. It all tied in with what you're doing. Knowing yourself. Plato, Socrates, you know thyself. So I wanted to say thank you for letting me talk about it. If you want to know more, I'll be in the fellowship hall.
You can keep talking.
I'm done.
Well, keep talking.
I'm done.
Just for a moment.
All right. So I would like you all to know that I can highly, highly recommend this because it's a very joyful and uplifting experience. I think everyone needs to experience that. So if you have a chance, next year is online, but the year after that possibly in Calgary. So I'm sure going. Thank you.
3 days in Bethlehem. Now, and of course, Gisela mentioned at the end that this event is not only for board members and people that are involved in the organization. It's open to everybody, and I have been to some of these myself with my lovely dear wife, Reverend Rona, and they're spectacular. I think I leave it with what Gisela said. She certainly was very enthusiastic in introducing that, and nice job.
Did I leave my prayer beads there?
Yes, you did. Very
That
colorful.
was a workshop. Prayer beads.
Great. Okay, now I'll take my glasses off. We're forming that. Okay, the Unity Conference, we talked about that. Yes, here's my favorite moment right now. Come and celebrate our minister Rona, our Reverend Rona, has signed up for another 2-year contract with the Unity of New Westminster Board. Yay! And so we are taking Rona to lunch at the old spaghetti factory today, actually. If you would like to come join the board in honoring Rona, please let well, I guess it's too late. This is from last week, right? So just come. The old spaghetti factory. Now the thing is that the board is broke. We have to. Okay, so yeah, we'll pay for Rona, but everybody has to bring their own. Okay, Hollywood or rather Halloween is just around the corner. So next week, dress up. Cindy's Creative Cafe and Karaoke is a chance for you to paint, draw, sing, tell a story, or express yourself artistically in some other manner. Admission is $10 to pay for the supplies, and please come and share your talents. And that's on the last Sunday of each month at 12:30 after service. It's the most wonderful time of the year. It's time for the annual Purdy's Chocolate Fundraiser. After our best ever year of sales last year, our amazing Cindy Noble. Cindy, are you here today? I didn't see her. All right, well, Cindy Noble is heading up the campaign for us again. Thank you, Cindy. And if you can place your orders by phone or email or by going to purdys.com and joining the group, our group number is 15455. I'm not good with numbers. I'll never remember that. I'll have to write it down on my hand. 15455. And the link to our screen. And the link is in our homepage. Order deadlines are Wednesday, November 23rd, and orders will be ready for pickup on Monday, December the 12th. This year, let's do better than we did last year. Ooh, that's a challenge. Okay. We're grateful for your gifts. I'm sorry? What? I'm sorry. The income. You want me to? Okay. Here's the income statement. Here is the income statement for the month of September. During the month of September, our income was higher than our expenses, which is what we want, of course. If we look at the income and expenses so far this year, you'll see that our income is more than $40,000. Ooh. This is largely due to a generous gift that someone left us as part of their legacy. And we hope to use that legacy gift for special projects. Rather than to be used for regular monthly expenses, we are especially grateful that our income in the month of September was higher than last year. We are encouraging everyone to continue their weekly or monthly contributions to the Unity of Westminster Church. We have made some investments in sound and video equipment, so we expect some larger expenses in the next few months or in the next month. And for all of your, thank you for all of your support and generosity and kindness and smiles. All right, we are grateful for your gifts, which support our ministry. Many of us contribute with pre-authorized payments, so if you are not placing anything into the contribution basket, please bless it silently when it comes to you, then pass the basket along. As we sing our blessing song, please bring to mind something that you are grateful for, because we are blessed. That's all.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
And so thank you all for being here today. Thank you to our tech team. Thank you to Alexandra, who is on Zoom. Thank you, Gisela, for sharing what you did today. Thank you, Barb, for your platform, and Walt for being assistant. Greta, thank you for being in charge of greeting everyone today. And thank you all so much for coming. I hope you are going to join us at the Old Spaghetti Factory. And I'm so blessed to work with a board that is so generous. So thank you to our board. Let's move into a circle and sing our peace song, and then we're going to go and have lunch. Yay! Thank you, everyone. If anyone isn't able to join us for lunch, we will hang out for a little bit here, but most people will go downstairs. We'll go for lunch, I think. But, you know.
And let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as Creator, family are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now, with every step I take. Let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
I am the light of God, I am the love of God, I am the power of God, I am the presence of God. Wherever I am, God is. I am the light of God, I